All right, so we are back. A&J Sports. We're in the middle of the conference semifinals right now, and yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say. We can just get into it. This is what the bracket's looking like right now. What are your what are your thoughts? Obviously, at this point, we're recording this on Wednesday the 13th before the Pistons and Cavaliers play. So Knicks and Thunder have won their series. Pistons, Cavs, and Timberwolves, Spurs still have to move forward. It's been a good playoff so far, honestly. It's been solid.
It lives up to the hype. I mean, we had what, like I think two or three game sevens,
Yeah.
really good games. A 3-1 comeback with the Sixers beating the Celtics. No one saw that coming. Nuggets losing in the first round. They were considered a contender. Even the Lakers beating the Rockets. Like that was kind of a wild series, went back and forth without Luka, without KD. But now kind of all makes sense looking at it from the bigger picture. Like Thunder, probably the Spurs are going to be in the Western Conference Finals, and Knicks, who they had a shaky regular season, but I mean, come playoffs the last 2, 3 years, they've been dominant, and I think Jalen Brunson rises to the level every year. Your team.
El Capitan.
Um, I mean, and like your biggest contender or biggest threat, the Celtics, they're nowhere to be
And that
seen, bro. Like,
I know, and I feel like we talked about that, before when we were talking about like our playoff preview that I thought Boston was the biggest contender really in
in
the
the
East,
East.
but to have that series go the way that it went, I mean, I don't know, really changed my perception of Boston as a team and like kind of skewed how I feel about the East overall. But I don't know, really, really interesting to see the 76ers. Embiid comes back. He's able to lead them through that series. They win three straight and take down the Celtics.
Yeah. And then like I mean the Cavs Raptors, that was pretty straightforward. Even the Magic series that ended up being pretty good with the Pistons. We ended up being a little bit off with our play-in predictions. I think we both had Charlotte getting in, but I don't think either of us saw the Magic beating the Hornets by what, like 40,
Yeah,
50,
no,
whatever
they
that
dog
was. That
walked
was
them. That was,
insane. And then Trailblazers took the Suns spot, and I think maybe the Suns would have won a game against the Spurs, but both of those teams are getting eliminated either way. Other than that, though, like Timberwolves are probably the biggest surprise. Maybe you could say the Sixers, but you guys dismantled them, so like it's not even worth mentioning them. Same with the Lakers, like big surprise, but then Thunder dismantled them. But got a couple good series still left in the. I don't even know what round this is, but yeah, let's get into it. Your team.
yeah, no. I mean, this was coming off the Atlanta series, and I don't know, that rough series against Atlanta took us to six, lost two games by 1 point, but won the last few, and then that game six performance, beating them by 40, 50. I mean, like
Smacked them.
ridiculous, insane. Just brought all of that momentum
Quick
into the
story. I don't mean to cut you off,
no,
but
no,
I
no,
was at
no.
my brother's graduation. Wasn't even looking at my phone during this game. He texts me when he's down there on his graduation. He said, "Do you see the Knicks score?" I'm like, "No, I didn't." And I swear, I pulled up my phone, 61-21 or something like that. I've never seen an NBA score like that. And the fact that my brother's texting me during his graduation, insane. Sorry, go back to your
Yeah,
point. I didn't.
Dyson Daniels crying on the bench. Like it was a different level of what we did to the Hawks. One of the best playoff performances. I think like literally one of the best playoff wins in history.
Yeah.
Took all of that momentum right into this series against the 76ers. Game one, demolished them. Game two, Embiid didn't play, still won. That was a little bit closer, as was game three, but game four in Philly. I do want to make a note of, I think Embiid, he made all of these public pleas of not, like not having New York fans take over the stadium. They had Philly fans buying up refundable bus tickets and train tickets to try to prevent people from traveling to Philadelphia. It didn't matter. There was still let's go Knicks chance the whole of game four. I feel like it was a home series pretty much for us the whole time. And we dominated them in game four. So I don't know. It was a great expected, but to have it play out the way that it did, especially in the East, at least, again, we OKC in the West, they've done their thing. And we'll get into that later. But in the East, there's been a lot more uncertainty All three of the other first round series went to 7 games, except for ours against Atlanta. And heading into the second series, being able to get a sweep is like a huge, and being able to get, at least a week of rest heading into the conference finals, huge on both fronts, and really just kind of shows that we're at a high level right now.
Yeah, you guys deserve to smack them. I didn't think it would be 4-0, but you guys killed them. That was nasty. This one was I like Loki. I think the Lakers put up a better fight than I thought. Like there's a
Yeah.
couple games that came down to the wire that I mean came down to the last 5 minutes, and then the Thunder pulled away by 20. But I don't know, man. I think if Luka's in the series, they win one, maybe two. I don't think it makes a huge difference. But man, this Thunder team, they didn't have Jalen Williams. AJ Mitchell stepped up and he was dropping 20 a game easily. Like I don't know, man. I think it's gonna be hard to beat this Thunder team. Do you think LeBron's career is done? What do you think about that?
I don't think it's done, but I am curious though, and I'll ask you too, like, what do you think the Lakers do moving forward? I'm not 100% sure that LeBron is on the Lakers. I mean, maybe he is, but you know, the reality is, I mean, it's Luka's team
Yeah.
at this point. They have an Austin Reeves extension that they're going to have to sign. I don't think LeBron is going to go for like a minimum deal. Like I don't think we're going to see that. So it's like, is he going to stay in LA? Is he part of their plans necessarily? Is that where he wants to be? I think there are a lot of things
Right.
that could come into play in this offseason. See, I think we're going to see a fair amount of big players up for move. When we talk about, we'll talk about the Nuggets, but like maybe a Jamal Murray. Obviously Giannis is the biggest one. I think there are guys to be moved around this offseason. KD in Houston. It's like who knows what might happen with that situation or any of the guys there. Like I think there's potential for big movement, and LeBron could be one of those guys. But what do you think? I guess what do you think would be best for the Lakers, and what do you think is the direction they
I
take?
mean, I think at this point, like this team clearly, unless they brought in a ton of players on a vet minimum that are good players next year, they're not going to be a contender next year. And let's be like, they need a lot. They need another big star, I think. And I don't think LeBron's that guy right now at this point of his career. I think if I'm LeBron, I'm going to a win now team. Like I'm going to a team where like I've seen rumors for the Knicks. Like I think he would honestly fit in pretty well there. Again, you have a ton of forwards and stuff like that. He'd probably be like your fifth man, but like I want to see him go to a team where he can win now. Where he can make a difference though too. Like a Cavaliers. I don't think they can win it all now, but like they can make some noise in the East with LeBron. Like I think that'd be a good homecoming reunion type thing, but I don't know. I think a team where he can win now. There aren't many though. Like that's the thing. Like it's really just Thunder, Spurs. He's not going to either of
Yeah, I
those
was gonna
teams.
say San Antonio maybe, but
San Antonio would be kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't think he does that. Like that's like kind of like a KD move to the Warriors.
yeah.
Like I've seen a lot of rumors he could go to the Warriors, but I don't know about that. Like I think it'd be cool to see Curry and LeBron play together, but they're
Is
not
that team
contenders.
winning against
No.
OKC still? It's like
It's literally like vets versus the young guys. But no,
yeah.
I at this point, like, what would you do if you were LeBron? Like, where would you go if you could pick any team? Obviously, maybe not Thunder or like maybe Spurs, but like still, where would you go?
Uh,
Or do you just retire? Do you just hang it up?
it's hard. I mean, I don't know if I'm LeBron, I don't know if I really want to, because I think he is cognizant of like his legacy and like intentional about that in a way that like Kevin Durant isn't. So it's like he went to, I mean, if I was him, like probably New York, honestly. I don't think I would
Yeah,
want to play anywhere else. And it's like, because again, it's like you want to win a championship. You're not going to like some other market, some like lesser market team. And I don't think you're going to New York though if they win a championship. Because
no.
then that's like putting you in the KD situation of like, oh, you're just so if we like didn't get the chip this year, then maybe that's like I could see that more, and then that could be how he finishes his career, like, or that's like like that would make more sense to me. But outside of that, it's hard. And it's again like with
Really?
the trades, it's like, is he gonna wanna like go to Denver? Does he wanna go to Milwaukee? Like where is he actually gonna want to play? at this stage in his
Great
career.
question. I just don't see many teams that he can really join and they become a contender, or
Yeah.
they are a contender now. It's just I feel like the league's very top heavy right now with the Thunder, Spurs, even Knicks, I would say, and I don't know if they'd take him any of those three teams. So we'll see how the rest of the year shakes out, but I think he plays one more year. That's it, though. I don't know where.
Yeah. And
This
then
series has been kind of wild.
I was
I
gonna
mean,
say probably the best series that's still ongoing right now. What do you think? It's 3-2 right now. How do you see it finishing off?
my one thing, before I get into how they finish it off, I think Wemby should have been suspended another game. I mean, the same thing happened with James Harden. It wasn't James Harden who did it. I forget. I'm blanking on the guy that did it, but some Laker. I think it was Meta World
Meta
Peace.
World Peace, yeah.
Yeah, he did it to yeah, James Harden. And he got a 7 game suspension. And yes, it was during the regular season, but he did get suspended for 2 playoff games. And what very similar action. They both just elbowed the other dude right in the neck face area, which I don't know about you, but that's not a basketball play even close. And I don't care. Look, they were being very physical with him, but that's basketball. Like that's you got to deal with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. He definitely lost his cool there. I think that should have been another suspension. Yes, he did pretty much miss that whole game. But I think the NBA, there's something fishy going on with the NBA. We all know that with the Mavs winning the lottery last year. Come on, like that was weird. Obviously, they gave it to my Wizards this year, so I'm not complaining. But you can't. Any other player, if that's Draymond Green, he might never
Oh,
play a game.
he's
He might never play again. That's Rudy Gobert. Suspended 2 games, 3 games at least. Like, let's be real. Maybe Anthony Edwards, sure, he's probably same situation as Wemby because they're both stars, and the NBA only cares about their stars and the best product possible. But if that was Naz Reid that did that to Wemby, nah, you probably don't see him again this series. Like, let's be real, right?
facts.
Am I wrong?
Facts.
Like,
I can't argue with what you're saying. It's facts.
that stuff pissed me off, man. I don't even. I think Wemby's a good guy. I like him. I think he didn't mean anything bad with that, but like you just can't do that. You can't. He's got to be suspended at least one more game. I'm sorry. That's my rant. How do you feel
No.
about the series? Other than that,
I mean, other than and well, to your point though, if he suspended a game, then maybe we're looking at 3-2
Timberwolves.
Minnesota instead of 3-2 San Antonio right now. So that's
It's
I,
been a
I
big thing. Yeah.
yeah. So still I think it's we've seen the Spurs, even the game that, Wemby got taken out of, it's like we've seen their whole team, Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, like they've really elevated in the playoffs. They look like a real contender all around. It's a shame that Anthony Edwards is hurt for this series, and we were both talking about it before. It's like Julius Randle, where are you? Like he is not
Show
stepped
up.
up. This would be his opportunity. Like he's been an all NBA player before. He's an all-star. It's like he's capable. And with Anthony Edwards out, this is a series where if he is stepping up, that's what could be pushing them further. And they're gonna need that in game six. Or, I don't
Yeah.
know how healthy Ant is. Again, it's like maybe he can go off, but they need more out of him and able to make it past this series. And even if they do, I don't really see them making it past OKC, but it I don't know. They need more out of him to be able to make more of a push.
I agree. I think you made some great points. Like if the Timberwolves role players have been stepping up all season, all playoffs, honestly,
Just
more
without
so.
DiVincenzo.
Without DiVincenzo too, great point. Like if he was still there, I think they have a better chance. I think if Randall's not going to show up, just give it to the Spurs in 6. But I don't know, man. This Spurs is a like I did not think they'd be this ready for the playoffs this young and this early. Like they have Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, all playing big minutes. These are young guys. Vassell,
Earlier than OKC.
Pigney, yeah, literally. Like I think Wemby's only what 24, not maybe not even. That might
Not
be
even. I think he's like 22.
that's insane. Like Shea didn't even get to this point till he was 25, 26. Like obviously Wemby's a freaking alien, but like this dude and this team, like I mean, it's hard to pick against them right now. I think if Anthony Edwards drops 40 in game 6 and 40 in game 7, yeah, they could make it out. But unless that happens, I think the Spurs move on. They've proven they're ready for the contender title. Like I think they could put up a fight against the Thunder too. We'll see though.
I don't know. This series just kind of feels like lame in
Flip a coin.
comparison to
Flip a
the
coin.
like this is like the
No one
least
cares.
important series. I don't
Who are
know.
the Knicks going to beat in the conference final? That's what this series is.
It's I don't know. I hope that this goes as long as possible, but it's like this is two bum ass teams. Realistically, it's like Orlando taking Detroit to seven, crazy.
Who do you
Um,
want to play? Like as a Knicks fan, who do you want to play? It's
I'd
great.
I'd rather play the Pistons.
Pistons.
I'd rather play the
Even
Pistons.
with them having the home field advantage?
I don't care. Doesn't matter. I'd much rather play the Pistons just because we've beat them already. Their roster is basically the same. We're going to be healthy going into that series, and I just don't see like I don't know. I really they haven't shown enough within this playoffs. I think we match up with them better. Cleveland, you know, again, these are two guys between Donovan Mitchell and, James Harden, two guys who have never made it to a conference finals, never, or I guess Harden, I guess, did with OKC, or might have with OKC, but not, past that point, not past that in his career. So it's like two guys who haven't been able to do it on their own. I don't necessarily see them being able to lead them past this stage, but I think that they are higher caliber of players. I think Cleveland has a deeper roster. I think that while we match up with them well, the Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, and then Mitch, like they pose more of a challenge. Pistons have more of a traditional setup that kind of lines up with us, and I think player for player, we're better than them. So I think that goes the same as every other series. I don't know if we sweep them, but I think that's an easier series. Cleveland, it's like between Harden and Mitchell, it's like, that you could get 3 40-point games out of those guys. And that's a 7 game series. So that's
Exactly.
different than what we're going up against in terms
I
of
think we kind of talked about this, like honestly, before the playoffs even started, but like the Pistons are really just Cade Cunningham. That's it. Like it's yeah, Jalen Duren's been bad these playoffs. Tobias Harris has been their second best
yeah.
guy. Like, and that's the guy that's been pretty bummy most of his career, averaging like 15, 20 points. Like, you can't have Tobias as your number two. Let's be real. Like, maybe a three, but we saw what happened with the Sixers. Like, he's just not that guy. I don't think Cade can really lift them. I mean, I think he could beat the Cavs. The Cavs are really not threatening. I mean, you made some good points. Like, they have a deep roster, they have good players, but like you said, Donovan Mitchell and James Harden, they've never played in the conference finals. I just don't see this year being any different. They've got it's just a weird buildup of a team. We talked about this before. It's just a lot of shooters surrounded by two ball dominant guards. It never really works out when you do this. And then two 7 foot centers. Like just a weird makeup for a team. I think the Pistons are more built around Cade, which is what you need. Um, I think we both talked about this before, but like it's gonna be a grind. Like it's gonna be a gritty series. Like it really doesn't matter who wins, in my opinion. Like I think the Knicks should be fine either way. I think I would lean the Pistons, but it's gonna be a 7 game series, in my opinion,
Hopefully.
for your sake.
So yeah,
Yeah.
conference finals predictions. We're on the same page with, Spurs probably making it past Timberwolves. OKC have already made it through, and then, like you just said, Pistons and Knicks. So yeah, I don't know. What do you think about these conference finals matchups? How do you feel about them?
All I gotta say is like, unless the Pistons make it interesting, I might not watch an Eastern Conference Finals game, man. Like the West is gonna be 10, not crapping on your Knicks, but
No,
like the
but it's
Western Conference Finals are gonna be elite ball. Like I want to watch every single game, every single minute of those games. But unless the Pistons put up a fight, man, like the way the Knicks are playing right now, I don't see them losing more than 1 or 2 games in a series. Like I think the only chance we have for a good NBA Finals is the Knicks being in the finals. I don't think the Pistons. I think if the Pistons played either of those teams, they get swept. Like
yeah,
I
but I don't
genuinely
know if
don't
I'm
think.
like I don't know if I'm biased, but I feel like all the other like I just don't think anyone else in the East has really had as I mean, I don't know if our series have necessarily been entertaining per se, but like
It has because you've been throttling the
yeah,
team.
yeah, like I don't know, like even some of because like I've watched some of these other games and I'm like I don't know. It's like the Cleveland Raptors series was just kind of like whatever. It's like none of those games were like I think there was like one of those games was like exciting, but it was like kind of whatever. And
The
then
RJ
Cleveland,
Barrett buzzer beater one.
yeah, it's like I don't really care about. And then it's like Cleveland won, but they don't really matter that much. The 76ers Celtics one was kind of like whatever, but Jason Tatum getting hurt for game 7 just put a
Ruined
dud
it.
in
Yeah,
that whole thing. It ruined it. And then it's like the Pistons Magic, the Pistons never should have even been there to begin with. So it's like,
exactly.
and what they did to, it's like they beat Orlando by 18 points. It's like our version of that is like we beat Atlanta by 50 in game 6.
Fucking
So
historic win.
yeah,
Like,
it's just a different, I don't know, it's been different vibes around the playoff runs. And I feel like, yeah, no one in the East has really, especially Detroit should have matched it. Like I feel like they could have been the team. I wish that they like, did better so that the Eastern Conference would have a little bit more pop to it. But no, I
yeah,
agree. The West is going to be this is going to be one of the better conference finals, and I feel like this is going to be we're starting to get to a place with some of these guys who are so good, so young, like what you were saying with Wemby and all of them. Like we're going to see these matchups for a long time. Like this is going to be this Spurs OKC top of the West thing. We're about to have a good like five, like at
five
least
straight years of
at
that.
least
Like,
5 to 8 year run of like Wemby and SGA going back and forth in the West, which is just
I think not to cut you off, but I think it's safe to say over the next 10 years, unless there's a huge injury or trade of one of these two guys, I'd be shocked if at least one of these teams doesn't make the conference finals in the West every single year. I'd
yeah,
be completely shocked. Both those teams honestly should make it every year. Obviously, every other team's trying to get better, but I don't know. I don't think any team has this much potential for a 10-year span compared to these two teams. Like maybe the luxury tax catches up to the Thunder, but and even the Spurs in like what 5, 10 years, but like they're too dominant and they're too young. Like I just don't see them not getting better every year. It's gonna be it's I'm glad we're in the East. That's all I gotta say. I'm glad we're in the East. And best of luck to your Knicks if they make it to the finals. But let's before we move on, what do you think if these are the final conference finals matchups? What is your score prediction? Like 4-2, 4-3, 4-1, 4-0 for both these matchups?
Western Conference. I think it's going to go to 7, and I think San Antonio. I'm going to go San Antonio. I really see
Like it.
like I don't know Wemby. Maybe the league has a script for him. The league might be trying to push him a little bit, but I do really feel like this is Wemby's like I don't know. It's kind of weird saying that it's his time when this is his first year in the playoffs, and that's kind of like even I know I've used that as an argument against teams, the idea of like they're not ready, like you need the experience to be able to progress further. But I don't know, the Spurs team has just played at a different level this postseason than what you normally see out of these teams, and Wemby's just a different type of player at the end of the day. So I
Yeah,
feel like they're going to be able to put down OKC, and then we're playing against the Pistons. I got to be respectful, I guess, and say like Piston, like Knicks and 6. But realistically, like I don't know. I don't think that's a there. I really don't see that going past 6. I would be kind of disappointed if that series went to 7, especially just with how we've played so far and how they've played up until this point. I could see that series like being a sweep too, honestly. Like I think
yeah,
that the way that we've been playing up until this point, and if this series before goes to 7 games and they don't have that much rest, I think we very easily could take them the same way that we took the 76ers and you know
totally agree with you there.
that one.
Yeah. No, I think Knicks. I'm going to differ with you for the West. I think the Thunder come out on top, but I completely agree with your take on the East. Like 4-2 at the worst. I'd see 4-1 even sweep first, but I don't know, man. The West is going to be good. I'm just excited to watch that.
Yeah, and then down bad teams. I mean, I feel like we touched on them a little bit before, but we got to touch on like really get into some of these losers of the playoffs. Nuggets going down in round 1, Boston also going down in round one in series that really they shouldn't like to lower seeds, big upsets. What are your, I don't know, what do you think about those two series, maybe a little bit more and kind of your takeaways for each?
The craziest part to me is the Nuggets lost to Jaden McDaniels, Rudy Gobert. Who was even playing? Yeah, Ant was out. It was Io, I guess. Io. But literally, Julius Randle wasn't even playing that well. Like
Jaden
Anthony
McDaniels called them
Crouch,
out. He said they can't play defense. And then he
and he backed it up and dropped like 30 on them the next game. Like, dude, Jaden McDaniels is maybe him, but like, I don't know. I did once Ant went out. I'm like, if the Nuggets don't win this series, that's embarrassing. And not only did they not win, they didn't even force seven. And you got to at least force 7 games in a game in a series without Anthony Edwards. Like, I don't know. There's major problems in Denver. They had such a good regular season. They came into the playoffs on a 14-game winning streak, and to just flame out to the team without Anthony Edwards, Steven Chen, two of their starters, one of the best players in the league, two of their starters, and you couldn't even force 7 games with arguably the MVP on your team and a great cast around him, arguably the best cast around him since he won it all. Like at that point, I almost think there's something bigger wrong with the Nuggets, whether it's coaching, whether it's the team around Jokic, like they need to make some big moves. You alluded to it. Maybe Jamal Murray leaves, but I don't know, man. Between these two, between the Celtics and the Nuggets, I think the Nuggets are down bad worse. But man, they're both pretty down bad. What do you think of that series or the Nuggets?
Yeah, no, I mean similar. I think the Nuggets are like down worse just because you know, the West is only getting better. Like it's really at this point, and we talked about we just went over like OKC and the Spurs. That's the standard. Like that's who you need to get up to. If you can't even beat Minnesota in the first round, you were so far off of that goal. And the Nuggets have been off of that goal since they won it. So, and it's not to say that obviously it's like, it's difficult to get back. It's not to say you need to make the finals every year, but this is a team that has regressed, um, you know, over showing any type of moving forward. And they had so many things going in their favor. So,
E- Even from last year, they've regressed. They put the Thunder to 7 games and almost beat them.
yeah,
And
they
this
look like
year,
they,
they got a first round.
yeah.
Like with a better team. I would say this year had a better team than last year. And they lost to a worse, way worse team. Like honestly, Minnesota, if you take their season without Anthony Edwards, they're a lottery team at best. Like they literally lost to a lottery team in the first round. That's crazy, man. Crazy.
But
I don't
then
even know. Celtics are pretty down bad too, though. Like how do
Boston,
you
I
put
think, is
81
more.
lead?
I think Boston is more just like mismanagement, honestly. And I think I don't know if you heard any, Brad Stevens did a really interesting like press conference after the season where he was just talking about some stuff. I don't know. It was given a lot of like, they have this whole like live by the three, die by the three thing that is not good. And like Brad Stevens knows that it's not good. And I think he was articulating that like pretty openly. Like it was kind of crazy hearing him be like, yeah, yeah, we're not like we need to get better looks. Like the looks that we're getting aren't good. And like we shouldn't be taking threes as much. Like it was crazy hearing him talk so candidly about it. And it's like, no, this guy should just be the coach still.
Literally.
But I don't know. I think that they're a bit Missoula's a bit arrogant and like it's good in some ways. It kind of is what won them the championship, but their roster around I think it's arrogant at this point. Like honestly, this season is showing the importance of Drew Holiday, I feel like, but it's a bit arrogant at this point to, or I don't know, it's arrogant at this point to like just assume that Tatum and Brown are enough, especially coming out of, I mean, they have Derek White, but, and I guess Peyton Pritchard. Who Peyton Pritchard had a good season, but like that's it, really. And they like, I don't know, in the way that they handled Tatum, I mean, having him come back is fine, but I'm pretty sure like the last 4 games of the regular season, he played like 30 plus minutes in all of those games leading into the playoffs. So, having him coming off like recovering all year long and then doing that to him right before the playoffs seems a bit silly, kind of putting them in a position where, maybe you could say some guys would push through that. And even in the way that he was talking to after like in his press conference. It was just so interesting seeing the reactions from everyone in Boston, and it makes me feel like they're going to end up imploding. Like I think Boston could run it back and make it out of the East, but it's clear that they're just in like a place of convergence. It's like Jason Tatum didn't really seem to care that much about this season. Jaylen Brown is
Love
like
this
loved
season.
it, but was pissed about this series and pissed about how it went, and seemed like he was like happy about their performance in game 7 and how they played the game that wasn't with Jason Tatum. So it's like that's interesting. And then Brad Stevens comments kind of differing from what Missoula has shown all season. I don't know. They're
There's
in a
some
weird
turmoil.
place. They're in a weird place.
Yeah. It's like you bring up such a good point though. Like even just like when Jason Tatum came back in the regular season, he was ramping up. Yeah, he got up to 30 minutes like that last week. In the playoffs, he was running 40 minutes a game. But even just before that, like if you just think of any star player that's come back from an injury, like a big injury like that, most of the time, unless they took 2 years off like KD, most of the time they come in off the bench and they work their way back up.
Minutes restriction.
They
Sometimes
inserted
they
him right
don't.
into the starting lineup, 20 minutes plus a game. I'm like, you're bound to get him hurt if you're doing that. And it's only fitting that he gets hurt before game 7 and they arguably lose the series because of that. Like he totally mismanaged it, especially considering that their success this year was not from Tatum. It was not from playing guys big minutes, maybe Jaylen Brown, but it was from all these other guys like Ron Harper Jr., who you see here, Shireman, Hugo Gonzalez,
Yeah.
all these smaller guys that maybe played 15, 20 minutes a game, but they gave good ass minutes. Like, and they just completely went away from that in the playoffs and went back to the approach that, yes, it did win them the championship in 2024, but they had Porzingis, they had Drew Holiday, they had all these big name
Better
players.
roster.
Yeah,
And the
100%.
talent gap was a lot bigger between the teams that they were playing. And Embiid, back on, when you look at these teams on paper, you could argue that the 76ers should have won the series against Boston, that it isn't an upset necessarily with Embiid healthy and with all of them healthy. Like,
Yeah.
so,
100%.
but they're
It's
playing, and I think
crazy.
that's just the arrogance. It's like they're playing like that talent gap still exists from their championship season
It's
just
just
because they have Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, and that isn't the case.
I've always found them as a duo overrated, and I'm just glad the world is seeing that now. Like, I don't know. I've always just been hate watching the Celtics, but like this year it really came to fruition. I mean, Jaylen Brown is him, and I think he's always been better than Tatum. I just hate Tatum, honestly. I'm glad this all flamed out like this. Like,
No,
the
I'm flaming
respect
out
needs
this
for
way is
coming
due.
back, but yeah, that's it. uh,
And then also shout out to the Rockets too, just because I feel like that's a situation that KD again, like KD and Harden were, I mean, Harden's made it further, so we got to give him some credit. But KD has actively, since leaving Golden State, like ruined multiple situations, like between Brooklyn, Phoenix, now like with Houston, his whole burner account stuff, like pretty much tanked their season. I feel like they don't like each other, and he didn't even play. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's played his last game in Houston already. And it's like they did better with, look, it's the Dylan Brooks effect. The Dylan Brooks effect
Dude,
continues to to prove itself true. He is way more impactful than anyone
KD.
gives him credit for.
Then KD at this point.
Literally. Then
It's crazy. Did you see him hate watching at the Lakers
I
game the other
know it
day?
was
That was
beautiful.
crazy. That was
I
crazy.
hate Dylan Brooks, but I'm like turning around at this point. I'm like, I've turned around.
I've
Like,
turned a corner with him.
yeah, I've turned a corner. He's like a better Draymond Green, I feel like.
He is. He
Or
can
he's like
score
what
too.
Draymond Green wants to be. Like realistically, but he's not an asshole and he's not, I mean, he is an asshole, but like in the way that he's supposed to be, I feel like. So it's
100%. It's yeah, that's a great honorable mention though for a down bad. KD 100% should be on here. I don't know how we forgot about him, but yeah, I mean, I think overall too, Rockets as a team with what he did to that team,
yeah.
yeah,
But
they're
KD
down bad.
specifically, KD is the reason that they're down bad. So
He is his burners, but yeah, I mean, anything else? Last comments before we sign off and watch these conference finals soon?
yeah, I say let's go Knicks. Let's hope the Pistons and Cavaliers go to 7. Yeah,
Who
that's
do you want in the finals if you could pick? Spurs, I assume, or Timberwolves, I guess.
yeah, Timberwolves in the finals would be beautiful, but no, it's probably going to be the Spurs. Or I don't know, it's probably going to be OKC. I want it to be the Spurs. It's probably going to be OKC, and I'm hoping that the Knicks can make it there. We've made it further each year in the playoffs. It's like we're making it to the conference finals again. Hopefully Brunson can lead us to the finals. And, once you're there, it's like Indiana took OKC to 7 last year. So,
I think it could happen. Maybe Shea tears his Achilles this year.
yeah.
Who knows? But yeah.
All right. Well, talk to you guys soon.